Patreon Q&A number 59. I want to thank all 72 of my ultra powerful, super cool patrons. Guys, you know I love you so much, and thank you for continuing to support me the way that you are. It really helps me out a lot, and I can't thank you enough. And to everyone else listening, there's going to be some spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully. Yonatan G asks, hello Big Z, what's up? So I've kind of been dealing with like this seasonal cold all week, and I've just been trying my best to get out good content. But it just makes it more difficult. But hopefully, I get through this soon. What do you think is faster? Sonic, regular speed, or Atomic Samurai, Atomic Slash? I'm kind of going to Atomic Samurai's direction. So surprisingly, we have actually seen this encounter, and we have somewhat of a definitive answer to this question. Or we so much haven't seen it, but we've heard it. Because in the third audiobook, Sonic encounters Atomic Samurai, and they have an exchange. And yes, this is canon. One wrote this whole audio, but he wrote all the audiobooks. So to make a long story short, Sonic dresses up as Saitama, and he infiltrates the Hero Association, and he eventually runs into Tatsumaki and Atomic Samurai. And given that Atomic Samurai and Sonic both have high tempers and a short tolerance for stuff like that, they get into an exchange with each other. And it's stated that Sonic draws his blade first going at Atomic Samurai, but Atomic Samurai blocks it. And then Sonic's like, oh, that was fast. I didn't even see him draw a sword. This guy's no joke. And then he's like, oh, you're pretty fast with a sword, but if I get serious, no sword slashes in the world can catch me. So yeah, Sonic being braggadocious, of course, but I think that's pretty much giving us a definitive answer of who is faster, and it's Atomic Samurai. Probably by a lot. He's probably one tier of speed faster than a Sonic, just taking a guess here. And if they were to fight, I assume Atomic Samurai would just take him out with the Atomic Slash. Just taking a guess. I mean, maybe things will change in the webcomic because Sonic has gotten quite the buff, but as of right now, it seems like Atomic Samurai is a league above him. Jordan asks, yo, Shonen, hope everything is going good for you and hope you living good. Yeah, I think I'm living good, Jordan. Thank you for asking. I really hope you are as well. For my question, who do you think is going to give Zoro an actual serious fight where Zoro actually exerts himself? Because in my opinion, Zoro has been pretty much one-shotting every serious threat. And I know Zoro's been in a couple petty fights in Wano, but he just got Enma. So who's really giving him a real fight? I know I tell you every week, but I really appreciate the super dope content. Keep doing your thing, brother. Hey, thank you so much for your kind words and your support, Jordan. It really means a lot, my friend. So I think Zoro's big fight in Wano is going to be King. Or at least I really hope it is. Because, King is the number 2 to Kaido. So it makes sense that the number 2 to Luffy is probably going to take him on. That's usually been part of the course with these big arcs. And now that Zoro is finally back in the story, which he has been absent for some time now, he is due for a huge battle. And Pika, his last big opponent, Dressrosa number 2 to Doflamingo, didn't really feel the requirement of a challenging battle. It was more so just an annoying one, until Zoro just had his opportunity to take him out in epic fashion. But I think another big reason, other than just the number 2s going at it, is that we saw that King has a friggin' sword. So I think that's some insight right there, some foreshadowing that, yeah, he's probably going to take on Zoro. And also, King has been super mysterious at this point, so he's probably going to be one of those villains that just gets development mid-battle, like when he takes on Zoro, because that's obviously going to last a very long time. I mean, this whole battle in Onigashima is going to last for probably a year at this point, so we'll get plenty of development on him during his fight with Zoro. And also, there's that whole significance about what his race is. You know how Big Mom wants him because she doesn't have the race on Totland, whatever he is. I think that he's like the opposite of what the Sky Island people are. Like he's probably like the hell equivalent if they're like angels, something like that. But he has like that Sephiroth-esque sword, right? It looked pretty long. So he's probably going to go against Zoro. He's probably going to push Zoro to ultra high difficulty. And it's going to be super satisfying. But spoiler alert, Zoro kind of told us that he's never going to lose again, after his encounter with Mihawk. So he's probably going to win. But this will for sure finally give us what we've been looking for all these years. And Zoro using his full power And he might even be the one that pushes Zoro to opening his eye. I mean, that's, you know, the main speculation about Zoro's full powers, that he's going to open his eye, and then he just goes into the next level and maybe gains, like, future sight or something like that. But more or less, he's going to be taking on King, if I had to put my money on it. Free-Tshirts asks, yo, Shonen, new chapter came out this week, so I got questions. So Neon is alive, and Drive Knight will be dissecting him for research and weapons and all that jazz. But that part is really stuck with me, and it got me thinking, do you think that sometime in the near future, aka 4 years in real time, Drive Knight will have a form based on Neon? He'd come with 8-inch claws and extreme speed, and maybe even the paper thin ability. I don't know, but he grabbed Neon for a reason, so he's got to come into play at some point. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot, man. So, I'm actually going to make a video about this. Like, I'm going to go way too in-depth in this subject because I think it is very interesting. So, you're right about that. But I do think that he's going to at least gain some abilities from Neon. And the way that he's so particular about Neon and keeping him alive and whatnot, it's probably because he wants to gain that, at least the paper-thin ability. That is super significant, obviously. And it was emphasized that, you know, he showed Drive Knight that he has it. Like, multiple times, went inside of him, like, was so small, he was, like, in the friggin' circuitry. So I'm sure that had much appeal to Drive Knight. Now, how can he manifest that ability? I don't know. I mean, he already kind of has some kind of nanotech ability. At least that's what the majority of us seem to speculate about. That's how he's able to, like, manipulate his forms and whatnot from the box, and he does it so fast. You know, it's kind of like Tony Stark's abilities in Endgame and the Infinity War. So it could be something like that. So maybe he can just alter his nanotech ability, and then that makes him like paper thin, and maybe that's going to benefit him. I mean, obviously it benefits Neon, so I'm sure that he can use it to his advantage as well. But as for the other things that he can do, I'm sure that he'll have like a claw thing too. Like, he'll have his own feline retribution thing as well. I don't think it'll be too integral to his fighting style and his abilities, but he'll integrate it for sure. But there's also a lot of other things, if we can look a little too deep into that dialogue, that I also want to talk about in that video. But for now, I definitely agree that he's going to somehow manifest that paper-thin iPhone ability that he has. Joseph K. asks, hey Shonen, generally post-3-year training Saitama's fighting style is just to let his opponents try to beat him up and eventually get tired and knock them out in one punch. Was it always like this? Do you think he's developed this fighting style, laziness, after he gained his unbelievable strength because defense is pretty irrelevant when you're nearly indestructible? Or do you think he always fought like this and now he's become unstoppable? It just means he doesn't get hurt. I think the only 3 fights we see of training Saitama that aren't over before the enemy gets to attack are Crablante, Incarnation of Electric Lightstring, and Octopus Clawman, which all have him get pretty beat up in the process. Do you think Saitama ever put any value into dodging or evading damage when he wasn't solving or when he wasn't saving someone else, or has he always been solely focused on attack? Peace, man. So I think he hit the nail on the head there, and saying that it's laziness, because that's exactly what it is. It's like a lazy way of fighting, which is hilarious, and I never really thought about it like that. I thought it was more so lack of ability, but it's definitely goes to Saitama's temperament as well. But as you said, like, the Incarnation of Electric Lightstring, that fight pretty much shows us, like, what he's all about. And I think it might also be one's, like, subtle commentary on just shonen MCs in general. Like, they kind of just get beat down, especially, like, against the boss villains or stuff like that. Dragon Ball Z really made it famous, too. Like, Goku just gets beat up for 95% of the match, and then he just Deus Exes his way out of the fight at the end. So it could be something like that. And also, like I was talking about it earlier with the 200 yen bonus chapter, when we see Saitama at 12 years old, he kind of had the same thing. Like, he just got beat up by the bullies, just went after them, no technique involved. Same thing with Piggy Bankin, got beasted by him, just no technique involved. So it also goes into just, he's just tough, and he has no fear, and he's willing to take damage to give it back. Which, of course, isn't a smart way to go about things, but Saitama is different, so he can kind of afford to get away with that. But, and also, like, he has never tried to learn any techniques at all. Like, he barely even knows how to throw, like, a proper punch. But yeah, it just goes more so into him being unstoppable now. That there's no incentive for him to learn how to adopt techniques like that because it doesn't really change anything. I also think him taking the damage, like more so in the Boros fight, is because he just wants to see like what he's capable of and probably have the chance of taking like what a punch that could hurt him. I think it also goes into that too. YUJIROhanmaOVERvegeta asks, "What's up, Shun? You're awesome." Hey, I think you're awesome too, Yujiro. Thanks, bro. Anyway, my question: if the characters of One Punch Man basically just became what their true intention is, Crab into Crablante, then could it happen more than one time? And also, could it revert if you've lost your motivation? I don't think it's a real possibility, but I think it would be cool. Garo is kind of doing what I mean. He even ends up reverting to a human form. Maybe I answered my own question. But then why wouldn't Saitama have changed back after becoming so bored? I don't know, just some food for thought. Great videos, man. Hey, thanks again, Yujiro. So, Crablante, Garo, and Saitama are all different cases. Crablante, as per what Dr. Gina says, is like an abnormal cell reaction. So he's kind of like altering himself completely, and I don't think you can come back from that. Like, he's just transforming, and then, like, I don't think if you change your mentality, you can come back. At least it remains to be seen, and it wasn't really explained by Dr. Genius that you could. But if you do train, according to Hellfire and Gale, and you're, like, a master of your body, you can revert back and forth between human and monster. Garo is different. He's kind of like his own unique case. It's not really too clear what he is in the first place, because like Giro says in chapter 92 that he's somewhere between human and monster, and I think he's always kind of been like that. As we're with Crablante and other beings like him are just full-blown monster. They're full transformation, full cellular reactions. And even when Garo transforms into Awakened Garo and then becomes further like the big monsters with the wings and stuff like that, he's still not full monster. It's kind of like a shell around him, and I think that's why he's able to come back to his human form, because he never really lost his humanity, if you will. That's like a recurring line that's thrown around a lot. And Saitama, he's not really transforming, he's kind of just removing his limiter. With Dr. Genus makes a stark contrast between the two. He says that they are not the same thing. As where Saitama just removed the level cap to him. I don't think you can gain it back. Or at least it doesn't seem like you can. Now, it could be argued that Garo removed his limiter and then somehow didn't remove it after he lost. It's hard to say. And I think once the manga reaches this portion of the story, we'll get more insight into it. But for as of right now, according to at least what Dr. Gina says in chapter 88, Saitama and the transformation of monsters are two different things, and I don't think Saitama can like put the limiter cap back on, or at least so far it doesn't seem like he can, but I could be wrong. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 72 of my incredible, amazing patrons. Guys, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. I love you guys, and you help me out so much, and you do put a smile on my face. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, just simply check out my Patreon. $5 tier will give you access to the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.